Well, Tim, I'm not going to lie. It's not like I haven't thought about doing it, but there's a lot of things there we need to unravel. This morning I looked at the old El Nino boot camp. It's something, a business I opened up at Gilbert's gym. Jake Shields is really the one who got it pushed through because Gilbert didn't want anything to do with it. In fact, Gilbert showed up like one day in the beginning, like to see that I wasn't I don't know, completely incompetent, which was hilarious to me. Not only have been in martial arts my whole life, and those guys were kids and I wasn't. I had been fighting, and my ability to deal with people was a lot better than theirs. But apparently, they shut all that out. They shut out my ability to fight. They shut out my ability to deal with people, everything. And Jake was pretty cool. Jake would come once a week. And at one point, Jake said, "Man, you don't need to come on my day." But I felt like I needed to come because I was the one who started the boot camp. And, we needed to keep it going. Now, needless to say, it was a rave success. You see, we got 7 reviews up there, all 5-star. 90% of the people who joined the boot camp joined the gym. I did a really good job for them. And what was happening? Gilbert was taking half the money for himself, right? Jake and I were splitting the other half. And it just wasn't worth it to me. I was waking up at 5 in the morning. I was doing most of the work. And Gilbert thought it would just go on like that. Very, very, very naive approach to how to deal with people. And then when I left, Gilbert tried to do it on his own. He called it Fit Camp instead of, an MMA camp. And it failed miserably. And it failed because they don't have the personalities for it. Any venture you make in life, you got to have partners, so to speak. Now, why did we get enough people in the camp? Because of their star power. Like Jake and Gil were stars, right? I wasn't a star, but was I very good at teaching? Yes. First of all, I was in wicked shape, lifelong martial artist, and very good at dealing with all levels of people from all aspects of life. They weren't because they were young, right? So how could they be, right? In fairness to them. So when they started Fit Camp or whatever, it failed pretty miserably, pretty quickly, and I knew it would. But that's why starting a business venture, you always got to have the right partners, and it's got to be the right timing and everything else. That boot camp could have destroyed it. I learned that model from a couple Irish guys. The first job I got when I was out of prison in San Francisco, I learned it. I taught for them, and I realized I can do this, and I can do it with MMA, which was the hot phase right then. If Gil had been fair about the breakdowns and whatnot, we probably still have it going and it'd be cranking. But listen, man, at the end of the day, everything is ego. And I don't think those guys ever quite saw me, but that's how life is, man. You got to keep on going and forging your own path. And if people don't see you, you got to move on. That's why people don't stay at jobs very long. Like, okay, you can screw me, see ya. And that's the way it should be, man. You gotta put yourself first sometimes, even in a world where we need to care about everybody else. And that's just the way it is. Everybody, read my book, Warrior of the